Hi, everybody. We're
Hello.
live.
Yeah, we're live.
We
Another
told you
live
all
session.
I know, we told you all we were going to be coming live with you every week, and we are. So you're going to see us every Tuesday. And we're super excited. Real Talk with Cari and Haley is coming to you guys live. Invite your friends. Of course, it's live stream, so you can watch it anytime. We have all these awesome conversations by ourselves, and we thought, why wouldn't we just have it live so we could hopefully bring you some value, but hear your insights too. So today we're going to talk about something that Haley wanted to talk about. She had some interesting ahas in the last few weeks as we've worked together. So I'm actually really excited.
Yeah, so today I really wanted to talk about imposter syndrome because I think that Cari she is such an amazing model for how to deal with imposter syndrome. And for those of you who've never heard that term, you're lucky, because I think actually imposter syndrome, that title, is really just a fancy way of saying we're afraid. We're afraid of something. And I mean, really, to get into the logistics behind imposter syndrome, it really just stems from fear. It stems from us as human beings thinking that we're not enough. And then from there, I think it even goes to a deeper level, which is, if I'm not enough, then I won't be loved. And so it's this pattern of thinking, which is it's what it is. It's how we have created a habit and a pattern of thinking. When we go to do something, we start to question ourselves. And that fear of us questioning ourselves, I'm not good enough. Oh my God, I'm not smart enough. Who am I to do this? I'm not educated enough. I don't have that degree. I'm not worthy. I'm not this, I'm not that. And it's just all these limiting beliefs that project out and prevent us from doing the thing that we need to do.
Yeah.
Cari, like I said, is a fantastic model of what not to do, or I guess what we should do to help us get through this. Because what Cari does, and what I've noticed, and I've never seen anyone do this before in my life, which is why I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention today, is what Cari does is she just does it. She just does what she needs to do. She absolutely does not allow any negative thought to prevent her from taking action. I'm not even sure, Cari, do these thoughts even cross your mind? Like these limiting beliefs, they just,
No,
no.
they legitimately do not exist. And I do not know why. Well, I mean, I think they definitely have, because there was a time in my life where I had actually pretty low self-esteem. I didn't feel good about myself in a lot of ways. And I think when I made that fundamental switch, which was like, let's call it 12 years ago or so, which was, all I can control is just like what I do every day, how I show up, who I'm being, and then working on being a better version of myself and just focusing on the things I could control and maybe not the things that I couldn't control, what I worried about before, which is what people will think about me. And, will these relationships last? And can I make this happen? It was more just like, well, if other people can do it, why can't I?
Mm-hmm.
And I just need to focus on me. And if I just focus on what I can do, then there'll be some result. And I'm sure, I don't recall it because it's been a long time. We were talking about this. I mean, really, probably the last 15 years out of the 23, maybe even closer to the 20 years, I'm sure that there has been a progression of this. I just don't remember it really anymore because I really, as you pointed out to me, retrained my brain. So I just don't really remember the moment that switched, but I do know that there's been definite times in my life where, I didn't know the word imposter syndrome by any means, but I certainly second guessed myself, and I worried about what people thought, and I didn't know if I could do it. And I didn't feel good about myself all the time. And I definitely had some lower self-esteem. So I know for sure that existed. I just don't honestly recall it that much anymore, which is really kind of fascinating, honestly.
Yeah. And that's what, like you said, it's just really fascinating because what you were able to do is just reprogram the way that the habits and then the pattern of thinking, because you are not allowing the ego to take over. And I think that that's really what it's about. I think sometimes when we allow this imposter syndrome or this fear to prevent us from doing what we're supposed to do, we're really just thinking about ourselves. We're not thinking about other people. And so I think the message that I would want people to take away today is that when you start getting out of here, your mind, and you start leading with the heart, you just step into action. You don't have to when you stop thinking about how you're showing up, when you stop thinking about how are people going to perceive me, what if I say the wrong thing, or what if this happens, or what if that happens, when you stop thinking that way and you just step forward and show up,
Mhm,
you make an impact on somebody. And
mhm.
that right there should be enough to justify you just taking the
Just
next
doing it.
steps, taking the action,
Mhm.
right? And I feel like you do that so well, Cari. You really do.
That's actually an interesting insight because that might be what has allowed me to retrain. I'm looking to make sure that we don't have any comments. Oh, Peter says, had 2 seconds between calls and saw you on live. Hi, Peter.
Hi,
I,
Peter.
I wanted to make sure we weren't having any questions that we can monitor. So that's a very interesting thing that you just said, because I would say that that is probably exactly accurate. And I wouldn't know that unless you've pointed it out. I don't really worry about what happens to me
Mm-hmm.
in the process of me building something. I focus on, well, what does it do for other people? How can we help more people? How can we make an impact? But that also has become a habit because I had opportunities to do things that that allowed me to help somebody. And I actually get a tremendous amount of just fulfillment in helping other people, more than I could ever help myself do something. I think that's, been the path of my career, has kind of proven that. Like, I could be going and just doing a bunch of things for myself in terms of selling real estate, and I just didn't really get that much joy from it. I started to really find fulfillment and joy when I was able to step up and do things for other people. And I was given an opportunity to have a leadership role. And it was like, it took me out of focusing on me, and it took me into, how do I bring these people value so that I can continue to have this job? And that may have been like a mindset shift that I had to go through that has really benefited me my whole life. Because when I call you up and say, here's an idea, I don't think twice about, what if we fail about it? Am I capable of it? Are people going to even, follow me to do it? I just literally think, if it is good enough to help someone else, it's going to work out, and it's going to be worth it. And we're just going to go try it, see what happens.
Yeah.
And it's really from, I guess, that perspective of, what are we doing it for?
Right. I think it's from a place of abundance. I think it's letting the ego go, and you're just surrendering, and you're just showing up, and you're just performing the act of service. And when we get outside of our mind, we get outside of ourselves, and we start thinking about, what gifts can I contribute into this world
Yeah.
that's just going to impact everyone else's life in a positive way? There's no room for fear there, because you're
No.
absolutely already enough. That's the thing. You
Yeah.
already are enough. And so let's just
So,
step out of that mental
yeah.
place.
So it's interesting that you say that, because if I don't even, that is what's fascinating about this. You've brought this up to me, and I just need to keep thinking about it. Although I don't want to think about it too much, because I don't want to change my mindset. I don't even question, am I enough to do it? Because I don't even care. Like, I'm just like, if this is something that needs to be done to help other people, let's go do it. Now, there's a caveat to that. I very rarely do anything by myself. And you've
Mhm.
experienced this, Haley, because I reached out to you because I don't want to do things by myself.
Right.
So maybe one way I've gotten over that is, I don't allow myself to be the only person that does these things. The whole weight of everything isn't, I guess it is ultimately on me, but I surround myself with people that I have so much faith in, and I have so much, I just know that they will show up, and I know that together we can achieve more. That it's almost like it's like, we're going to do this. And yes, do I have to lead the charge? And yes, do I have the vision or whatever? But somebody has to do that. And it doesn't. And so why not be me? And let's just go do it together. So there may be a little bit about that has helped me to overcome. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's about, again, it's the contribution,
Mhm,
the collaborative group. And you're
mhm.
saying like, hey, well, that's what's so beautiful too, is you're like, hey, let's lead the charge. Let's make the impact together. Because like you
Yeah.
said, if we're doing it together,
Yeah.
right, as a collective group, there's collaboration, there's
Yeah.
growth. We're impacting so many more people when we do it together.
Mhm.
And like you said, there's no room for fear here. We
No.
might fail, but it really, is failure the worst thing that could happen? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
We're just going to pivot. We're going to learn from this moment.
Mhm.
We're going to actually grow a little bit,
Yes. And
and
do
we're going to
better
be
again
better.
the next
We're going to
time.
do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So that's the fundamental shift, is like, I am not afraid to fail. Like
Mm,
if we have to break the whole thing and start over, I don't worry that people are out there judging like, oh my God, she tried to do that and I can't believe it. And look what a mess she made. I guess there are people out there probably saying that. I'm sure, I guess there are. I literally don't let that cross my mind because it
right.
doesn't really matter. There
We
were
don't
still
attach
people.
to it. You don't
No,
attach to what
it
other
doesn't
people
matter.
could or couldn't
Yeah.
perceive of
They're
you.
not
Yeah.
doing it. So
Right.
then I'm like, well, they're not doing it. And maybe they're doing something similar or other. That's okay. That's their
Hmm.
own thing, but they're not doing exactly what we're doing. So
Right.
it really has no bearing. It doesn't matter what they think. And so I think that even when we fail, if I look back, I mean, oh my gosh, there were scenarios in my first early years of leadership that it was like, okay, Cari, that was not a good idea. I learned from it, but what always came from it is still during that time, somebody was impacted positively. And why were they? Because I showed up and did something.
You
So
showed up and
somebody
did
still,
something.
yeah,
Yes.
somebody still got some benefit. If I would have done nothing, nobody would have got any benefit.
Hmm.
So it's like, I would focus on, well, somebody still got benefit. Yeah, I was a little bit of a train wreck over here, but now I learned, and I would be very transparent. I don't know. I have always been someone that is very strong on relationships. And for a lot of years, I did really care what people thought about me. And I still do when it's like my close circle, because these are my relationship. I just really don't let that go leak out amongst the masses. I really just don't care. I keep myself very centered and close to my people. And then I just almost have blinders and I just don't notice, which is something everybody should learn to do. And it's hard with social media, but I might almost have trained my brain to see the things I want to see and not the things I don't. To be honest with you, I don't
Yeah.
even see the people that are the haters. I literally don't know who they would be. And I kind of maybe, I guess, know who they could be, but I don't care. So I don't even
Right.
see it. Because remember, what you are seeking, you will find.
I love that. Yeah.
So if your brain is trained to go seek the haters, you're going to see them everywhere, and it's going to make you stop doing everything, right? Because nobody likes that. I mean, I don't either. So it's not like I'm immune to it. But now if I'm not looking for that, I don't actually see it. So it doesn't impact me. What I'm looking for are the constant reassurances that what we're doing is making a difference in somebody's life. It's an opportunity for somebody. Now, what I see all the time is the people showing up saying, that was great, that helped me. So then that keeps reaffirming that what we're doing is actually a good thing, even if we're not doing it perfectly.
Yeah. Love that. Thank
So
you
you
so
have to
much for
like,
sharing. Yes,
yeah.
I love it. Thank you. I really
So we
hope
had a
that
couple
this.
people watching.
Yeah.
Hi,
Oh, yeah.
Candy. Candy says hi. And we
Hi,
have
Candy.
Frank and Eduardo. So hi, nice to see you guys. I love that you guys are already joining us for our calls. So we wanted to keep this pretty short and sweet. So what would you give people? So you've kind of watched me, and this has been, by the way, you guys, this is years in the making. This is me putting myself out there, taking some risks, trying some things, failing forward, gaining confidence because I was in action. I think you gain confidence the more you get into action. If you stay in inaction, you actually are creating the imposter syndrome to be stronger, because it's like you don't see any results. You don't see
Well, you're
any impact.
reassuring it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you tell people as like action items if they feel like this is something that really has been holding them back?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is recognize the pattern, because all that it is, it's not you. It's absolutely, the problem is not you. The problem is the pattern of thinking. So first, acknowledge the pattern. Second, you just need to say, this is not working for me. This is absolutely not working for me. I see it, and I'm just going to shift my mindset. You can count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a Mel Robbins technique.
Yep.
Count down and then just shift it. Just step into action. Just show up. So you recognize it. You say, this is not working. And you do the uncomfortable thing anyways. Just step into it. Just do it. Because you're going to learn something along the way. And I promise you, if you just show up and you just do it, you will impact somebody. And that is worth it. You will impact somebody and yourself.
And that one thing is all, maybe that's all you needed to do in that uncomfortable situation. It doesn't have to be this big grandiose thing, but it gives you that confidence now to go do it next time and next time. And then pretty soon, you wake up 20 years later and somebody's like, does that not enter your mind? And you're like, oh, guess it doesn't anymore. And you didn't even realize. That's that whole idea of, slowly, slowly, slowly. And then suddenly. I feel like I'm at the suddenly, but it was probably very slowly for many years. But I do believe every time you show up, it's easier. I mean, like anything, you're just strengthening that muscle. So you just got to get started.
Just practice.
Awesome.
Perfect. Thanks,
Awesome. Well, we
Cari.
hope this helped you guys. Thank you as always, Haley. I look forward to our next conversation. Join us next Tuesday, you guys, right around the same time here on Facebook, and invite a friend. We'd love also for you guys to get in conversation with us and ask us questions and give us topics you want us to chat about. I'm sure we're already
Absolutely.
chatting about them. So we'd love it. Thanks, guys.
Perfect. Thank you.